Ooh, Delta is down about 20%. I think I'll pick up, I don't know, maybe 1 million shares. That seems like a good amount. Be greedy when others are fearful and whatnot, you know what I mean? Yes, this is fantastic. Alright, I'm just gonna go drink a Coca-Cola. Wow, Delta isn't doing too well. Actually, airlines as a whole aren't doing too well. Maybe it's time that I sell. But I have over 10% equity in a few of these airlines. Oh, what'll I do? If I sell just a little bit now, then people will think I'm only selling so that I don't have to fill in SEC forms. Yes, let's do that. Yeah, I've sold 7 to 8 billion or so worth of airline stocks. I don't know exactly how much because I'm so rich, I don't really keep track of the individual billions anymore. So why did I sell? It's nothing to do with the airline's management or how the situation's been handled or anything like that, you know what I mean? What do I think of the long-term outlook now? I don't really have an opinion, I don't have a lot to tell you, but I hope it's good. What is happening, people? It is your boy Jack, and that's what's happened the last couple of months with Warren Buffett and his airline positions as a whole. I woke up today and pretty much the first thing I saw when I opened up YouTube was this video. Warren Buffett, why we sold our entire stakes in American, Delta, Southwest and United Airlines. And this definitely caught my attention. If you follow my channel, you'll know that I have invested in Delta Airlines for the last month or so. I only bought 4 more shares last week, and then I see news like this, and oh boy, am I expecting an absolutely horrible day tomorrow on Monday. As of late, I've become somewhat of a voice of reason on this channel. On the NAT video that I uploaded, a lot of people appreciated me just, speaking about this with a level head, somewhat unbiased, not getting too excited. And I want to do the same for this today. I want to do the same about why Warren Buffett has sold all of their airline stocks, because a lot of people are going to be panicking, they're going to be worried, they're not going to go what to do next. So I want to come into this, act as if I don't own a position in Delta for a little while and see how I feel. If you enjoyed this video, please help me out by hitting that like button. It helps me out in regards to the YouTube algorithm to grow on the channel. Subscribe if you are new around here, and drop me a comment below. Let me know your thoughts on this whole situation, because it's pretty crazy. Maybe we all should have seen this coming a month ago when he did sell below 10% equity in Delta, and I believe it was Southwest. We were all a little bit naive. Now though, let's get straight into what's happened, what we expect to happen next, and what you should be doing with your shares. So this here was the video I watched. You can see it's very short, it's only 4.5 minutes. I'll link that down below. It's from Yahoo Finance. They always have really good up-to-date videos, but let's just summarize it. Now, Forbes have an article that sums it up really nicely. You can see due to all these tabs, I looked through a fair few of these, and this one makes it simple. So debt over capacity are why Warren Buffett sells airline stocks during Roney Boy madness. Oh, that's an odd title to put in there. Maybe I did a bit of doctrine. Berkshire Hathaway divests entire portfolio. So simply put, Warren Buffett has sold at a loss its entire portfolio of US airline stocks comprising of American Airlines, Delta, Southwest Airlines and United Airlines. They put 7 or 8 billion into it, and they did not take out anything like 7 or 8 billion. They probably lost anywhere from 2 to 4ish billion. We have sold the entire positions, he said. When we change our minds, we don't take half measures or anything of the sort. So Berkshire had an 11% stake in Delta, 10% in American Airlines and Southwest, and 9% in United. So this is where the skit in the video came into play. Remember a month ago, I think it was exactly a month ago. Yeah, here it was, published Friday, April 3rd. Warren Buffett's Berkshire Hathaway sells part of Delta Southwest Airlines stakes. And everybody assumed he did this just to get his ownership below 10% so he wouldn't have to file SEC reports. And that was the main consensus that a lot of us guys came to. That was my understanding at the time as well. I said, okay, maybe he just, wants to have less than 10% ownership in these guys. But now, obviously, he's went ahead and sold the whole position. So maybe he just wanted to get below 10% so that he could then proceed to sell the entirety of his airlines in his portfolio without having to, announce it at the time. And a really quick line here. The Oracle of Omaha professes no insight to the long-term outlook of travel and the aviation business, but Buffett sees the immediate future negative for investors, quite obviously, since airlines are accumulating debt, diluting shareholder value by issuing equity, and could have overcapacity. All very true, very valid points that should have already been taken into account when deciding if you're willing to invest in a company like Delta, Southwest, whatever airline it is you're deciding to invest in. When I decided to start buying Delta, I understood all of these things, and I still do understand them, and I understand that the recovery is not going to be by any means quick. And Warren Buffett knows an awful lot more about this game than me. He wouldn't have invested in these companies without taking all of this into account beforehand, so why is it coming out now? When you're somebody like Buffett, who has so much money in a stock, if you expect that company or those particular stocks or that industry to continue going downwards, you may well be inclined to sell. I don't think this is the end of airline investments for Delta. He's had a rocky road with them in the past. Before, he vowed that he would never ever invest in them again. 2016 he started, he accumulated 7 to 8 billion in these companies, and now it's all gone just like that again. Recently a lot of Q1 earnings came out. I looked at Boeing's, I've looked at Delta's, I've looked at Southwest, and I've looked at American Airlines, and all of them are terrible. And all of them are essentially saying that, you know what, they may not be back to any sort of good position for well over a year. And we can see one paragraph here. Boeing management backed up the sentiment of the company's earnings call last week, predicting it would take years for traffic to return to pre-pandemic levels. Now remember, Boeing would probably take ever so slightly longer than, you know, Delta or any of the people who are actually flying the planes. Because for the considerable future, people aren't going to need more planes. I think everybody can accept and understands the fact that not as many people will fly. There won't be as many miles racked up, so there won't be need for new planes. That's why it might take Boeing a little bit longer. But for me personally, when this virus is completely gone, when it's completely eradicated, flying is going to pick up somewhat very close to where it left off. I'm dying for a holiday. Next week I was supposed to be going to Portugal. I've already had to cancel that. I meant to be going to Amsterdam in October. Who knows if I'm going to get to do that. I am dying to get on a plane. I want to get on 2 million planes right now, man. That's the first thing I want to do when this virus is over, is get out of here. And I'm sure there's a lot of people in similar boats. And one more line that Buffett said is, I don't know that 3-4 years from now people will fly as many passenger miles as they did last year. Buffett warned. You've got too many planes. I think in 3 and 4 years, we most certainly will be. Now, I could be completely and utterly incorrect, but I do think we will be. I know a lot of people don't like comparing the situation we're in right now to the Great Recession, and I'm not trying to. I know it's not very similar whatsoever. It's completely different situation. We've no idea how long, you know, entire countries, entire economies are going to be in complete and utter lockdown, but this is the kind of best reference point in recent history that we're going to find, okay? So let's just look at numbers of scheduled passengers boarded by the global airline industry from 2004 to 2020, particularly 2007 to 2010. And look, it didn't change very much. Sure, it didn't go up, but then it did start to go up, and it started to rally very quickly. I think in 3 to 4 years, we will most definitely see numbers very similar to, if not above, what we saw last year. But that's his thoughts, and these are my thoughts. Nobody knows what's going to happen. It really is that simple. I often say on the channel that you should not buy stocks just because I or anybody else does. Even if it's this fella, Warren Buffett right here, a man I have the most respect in the entire world for. A lot of what I learned has come directly from this man. Does not mean that I would buy a stock purely because he did. And the exact same thesis applies to selling your stocks. You should never sell a stock just because I, Warren Buffett, or anybody else does. This right here is why it is so important to do your own research, look at the fundamentals, and ultimately form your own opinions before you ever even think about buying a stock. If you decided to go ahead and buy any of these airline stocks just because Warren Buffett did, now you have no idea if you should continue to hold, if you should just sell. You don't understand the companies, you don't understand what you bought. Me personally, I have done, and I continue to keep up to date with everything that's happening with the company that I decided to invest in, Delta. And because of that, I'm going to stick to my analysis, I'm going to stick to my thesis, and I'm not going to sell them. I am in fact going to continue buying them. When I bought Delta, I understood the risk that they carried. I understood that even when the majority of the companies in my portfolio start seeing the green, Delta more than likely won't. I understand how volatile they're going to be. I expected days like we will more than likely see tomorrow that could be red 10+%. I didn't buy these guys because I think they're the safest company in the whole world. There's no risk attached to them, anything of the likes. I bought these guys because I personally am very happy with the risk to reward ratio. I'm happy with everything that they do. And the fact that one very smart, very well respected man decides to sell his shares does not change my outlook on these guys. So please take this as a lesson to always do your own research, understand everything that you ever decide to invest in, and don't do it just because I, Warren Buffett, or anybody else on the internet does so. Again, let's look at Nat. A lot of people bought Nat, they didn't understand it, they could have made a lot of money, and now they're after losing a lot of money. A lot of people are still holding that just in the hopes that they're going to do well. They don't really understand why they're still holding it. It is literally just hope. If anything, I am somewhat excited about this. I've already decided that I believe in Delta, no matter what happens next. I've already decided that I am willing to stick with these guys, and I am going to hold them, and I'm either going to make money or I'm going to lose all of my money because they'll go bankrupt. I've already come to that conclusion, so I'm excited about this because there is no way that someone like Buffett selling all these shares won't cause other people to do so, which is going to bring the share price down, which means that I can buy more cheaper. I know I speak about Delta a lot more than the other three companies. They're all very much so in the same boat. I have a full video discussing my thought process on Delta Delta that is relatively up to date because it came out just after these Q1 earnings. Check that out if you want more info on why I like Delta so much and why I do personally believe in them. But essentially, really quickly, they're the biggest of the big boys. You know, they make the most profit, they carry the most people, blah blah blah. They've cut their expenses by over half, which is absolutely fantastic. Their chance of survivability has gone way up, and they are getting bailout from the government. Trump has directly said that he does believe in these guys. Trump will do an awful lot to keep these guys afloat. There's a lot of reasons to still believe in these guys. Obviously, very crazy news. It's not necessarily the news that us investors want to see, because, you know, somebody as big as Warren Buffett is going against what we believe. But on the other hand, like I just said, it's going to most definitely influence the stock's price, which does then mean in turn that we'll be able to buy more shares cheaper. I've said it before on the channel, I plan on buying these guys every single week regardless of what happens. So I would rather buy them at $16, $17 a share than $30, $35 a share. And the same can be said for any airline that you're in right now. These 4 airlines are going to take massive hits on Monday. More than likely, who knows, the stock market has been so crazy and unpredictable lately, they could still end up somehow, by some magic world, going up. The stock market just doesn't care about anything right now. Maybe they don't even care about Warren Buffett. Yeah, the main thing I wanted to get across in this video is just don't buy or sell because Warren Buffett does, or because anybody does. That's not the way this should work. Unless you are paying a financial advisor to handle your investments, don't just follow some random fella on the internet. It's gonna be a bumpy ride. You should have understood that when you decided to buy them in the first place. I definitely did. And now it's like we're on a roller coaster. You know, we had just done a loop-de-loop. It was horrible. And then we started, you know, we climbed back up. We climbed back up quite a bit. And now we're about to have this bang. We're about to have a big steep downwards bit. But this is the fun bit. This is the fun bit, guys. Why is it the fun bit? Because we can buy more stocks. Please do let me know what your plan is going forward in the comment section below though, because this is one that I know a lot of you guys are in these stocks. You're in Delta, you're in Southwest, you're in American Airlines. Let me know what your plan going forward is, because I want to know what the general consensus is. But anyway guys, I really do hope that you enjoyed today's video. Quite a quick one I believe, but there wasn't too much to cover. If you did enjoy, please hit that like button, and I will see you all in tomorrow's video. Peace.